Look at that. And that's it. That's how easy it is. Insane. Well, I know nobody's in here just yet, but today starts the first district imports shop talk. This is like a thing that I've been meaning to do for quite some time, where essentially we would probably be working on cars in the garage, hanging out, probably set it up for like, I don't know, Mondays and Tuesdays, something like that. Um, but essentially, or no, sorry, Sundays, Friday, Saturdays, or Sundays, basically, where we chit chat and talk about car stuff, just whatever. You know what I mean? Especially while we're working on cars. I am injured, so I do not have the ability to work, as much as I want to. Um, but yeah, the goal is to kind of start in this kind of direction where we do, vlogs type, vlog, or like podcast type conversations, and with people that want to have conversations about cars. Um, One thing I like to talk about the most is the controversies of car stuff. So, um, okay, so one of the biggest things I have a conversation with almost all of the time, with people who aren't car people, is like Stellantis and the direction of Dodge, and Mopar or whatever, and what what it's like for that company to go through what feels like the automotive industry's version of a private equity firm gutting them. You know what I mean? Um, so that's some stuff I want to talk about. I guess like just to see what other people are interested in, and then there's obviously like mods. You know what I mean? Maintenance. That's a big one. I'm huge fan of maintenance and modifications in general. So like, um, I think one thing I've mentioned this a couple of times. This probably isn't on like the radar just yet, but one of the things I want to do in the future is get uh is to host like a shop talk like this, right? And not in a garage, but do that. Um, Basically host shop talks just like this, but like in a position where we're in a shop like this and I have like an audience of like, 3 or 4 people. Uh, and we just talk about maintenance, you know what I mean? Or like have their car up on a lift and let's say they've got a bunch of parts that they want to install and they don't really sure how to begin. They got a bunch of buddies that are, new to cars and want to start modding cars. So it's like those are a couple of things that I want to do in the future. Once I have a shop, I'd love to do it in the garage, but that stuff is entirely too difficult. Um, so yeah, that's like one of the big things that I want to do with Shop Talk in the future. And of course, like I like to schedule these. I decided to pop this up just now just to see, what the camera setup would look like. I'm using the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, um, which is doing surprisingly well. I think this is perfect for that kind of stuff. Hey, what's up? We're hanging out, Brown Eyes. Uh, I'm kind of going over the basically what Shop Talk and District Imports is going to do in the future. My dream car? Give me an application like Dream Daily or like Dream Race Car. You know what I mean? What do you think? Like because if it was like a Dream Daily Driver car, if gas wasn't an option, let's say gas wasn't an option. Um, Shoot, that's hard. All right, so picture this, right? Cayenne, Porsche Cayennes are sweet. We've got my Ross is one of my members has a Porsche Cayenne GT, the Turbo GT, and that thing goes. It is a incredible machine. Although the X5 is a great idea, and SQ8, I'm with you. The Cayenne and the SQ8 are very, very they're very relatable. They're basically off the same chassis, so those are great choices. You're an SUV person, I can see, which is awesome. For me, I think that I'd want to go sedan. You know what I mean? I'd probably stick with like, and this is a lot of history behind this. I'd probably stick with like a Benz, like a 1990 or 2000 Benz S600, like the V12. If maintenance and gas wasn't an option. Favorite car brand, brother. I don't. It's unfortunate. Oh, you can't even see it back there. It is Volkswagen. That is my favorite car brand. It is unfortunate I'm bit by the VW bug. This is our Mark V R32 that I just put bags on. And yeah, I have an Audi B5 outside. Shoot, I can actually show you the B5. Let's see. Let me tap myself again. Can't see it. There we go. There it is. That's the B5 project. And our Mark II. And also the GTI is in the back. So huge fan of Audis. B5 is kind of our thing right now. Unfortunately, the Volkswagens is taking over. It's cold. I'm putting this back down. Look at that. Oh. Nice. Yeah. What kind of Audi are you looking for? I'll give you advice. Don't look at a 2001 or 2002 B5 unless you're hurting for pain. Car colors. Silver and also silver and black are my two favorite car colors. I keep it very neutral. Yeah, blue's legit. Blue's legit. I can tolerate the Urus, the Lamborghini Urus, but it's not my first choice, especially considering they took the Urus is a Porsche Cayenne or an SQ8, and then it's up badged, whereas Lamborghini, and this is again my opinion, when you have like a caliber of a car, especially at the price range of the car, like a Lamborghini Urus, it should be its own proprietary vehicle and not share parts with like Audi, Volkswagen. So, I mean, of course, they always do that. Like, there's going to be a whole bunch of part sharing, but the Urus is literally an up-badged SQ8. I think the only time that's ever happened in like supercar history is when Bentley joined, or with Bentley when Bentley got the W12. I can't think of another time, but it's really difficult to like a car when like the Urus is supposed to be a prestigious SUV, like all the other vehicles that Lamborghini makes, which are prestigiously engineered, but it's literally the same thing. It's just badged, and so I don't know how much I appreciate that. You know what I mean? Like, I'd rather it be its own thing. I'd rather it have its own motor, its own chassis, and so on and so forth. And yeah, I did know that the the SQ8, the Cayenne GTS, and the Urus also share the same motor as the Audi RS6, the RS7, and I think it's the other V8 twin turbo car. Bentley is Bentley is these are all calibers of cars that I can appreciate, I think, just to put it, bluntly. Um, I think that like a or a Continental GT or like a Flying Spur is in its own caliber of car, but it's like, what do you compare to that? Like the Rolls Royce, even the Rolls Royce, like a Phantom, is still fairly expensive, right? Um, you could probably put a Maybach in the same caliber. It's tough. I do like them. Trust me, I'd love to drive them. That's the experience of what a new car. If I can get the same experience when I had in the early 2000s, um, with like the luxury feel, and I'm sure I will, but like I guess I've never driven one to know. You know what I mean? Yeah, and I think like looks wise, yeah, I think the Bentleys look better. I think that it's this is a really hot take. I think that the Bentleys look better um because of the Continentals look amazing with the four headlights that they usually have, like they carry that through. Um, yeah, yeah, I've seen the Euros before. I'm in the Northern Virginia, DC area. There's tons of them. They're all over the place. And then in this area, you can see them all the time in like Cars and Coffees and whatnot, or like in like you'll see them in Tyson's Corner. If you look up Tyson's Corner, Virginia, you'll see a lot of them. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I see a lot of the Cayennes, a lot of Bentleys. We also see other cool cars too, like a 190E Cosworth. Like, when are you going to be able to see one of those? And we also see things like there was a Diablo GT that showed up. There's a Ferrari F40. Um, yeah, there's a Porsche dealership in Tyson's Corner. That's actually where. So District Imports. We have a GT3. Sorry, Ross from District Imports has a GT3. This is also his car. This is Mark V R32. He also has the Cayenne Turbo GTS, GT or Turbo S. Sorry, Turbo Cayenne, whatever coupe. And he has a GT3 991 991.1, and it's at Tyson's Porsche. So we're waiting to get that back. We've got a video for. We've had a video lined up for that thing for some time. We're waiting to get it back. Yeah, so the Cayenne video is actually in our channel. I did maintenance on it. So he got it new, and it's 22, I think. So he's had it he got it certified because it's a 22 and he got it last year. I did maintenance, and it was the first time I ever did maintenance on a $100,000 plus car. It was just like any other car, just parts are expensive, and like to do an oil change, you have to take off the intake filter. Oh, I have no idea what the warranty covers. Not a clue. Yeah, yeah. I think that they're certified is the way to go, especially if you have the money. You know what I mean? Yeah, that in to add for. So certified, in my opinion, if you're going into the caliber of car of like expensive to maintain, right? So your Benzes, your Porsches, your Audis, things that are the V8s, V6 twin turbos, stuff like that. Things that are typically, I guess, heavy in caliber, right? If you go certified, you would likely have a better time because you have an extended warranty, and sometimes 36,000 miles doesn't cut it, but then you can also get maintenance plans and whatnot through dealerships, and I think those are good to go. Wait, certified Porsche goes up to 120,000? Wait, what? For mileage? No. Really? That's a long time to maintain a car. Yeah. No, I believe you. I kind of want to see if that's the case, because that's a really good deal if you can get your maintenance and your services, warranted for 120K. Why would you not buy a Porsche? You know what I mean? Yeah, relatively. I think that. So I remember the PDK had, like, the 911s had a PDK trans or warranty for, like, was it like unlimited launch warranty, where they like tried to get people to do that. they were like they were like, yeah, launch the car as many times as you can, and if you break it, it's on us. Yeah, Panameras are pretty cool. I think the the SUV or the sedans are interesting. Like, wouldn't be. I like the way that it's like a wagon. You know what I mean? But I'm still a classic sedan fan. Like, if I was to go that big of a car, even though I have a whole bunch of hatches. Um, Damn, you are firing questions. Hell yeah. Tesla. Next question. next. Definitely next question. um, so, like, politics aside, I think that EV is not a. I don't think that we're ready for EV. Like, like it's like hip hop, right? So I'm a huge fan of, like, 90s hip hop, you know what I mean? And so bear with me, this is kind of a rant. Um so, like, when 90s hip hop evolved into, like, the or when we got the early 2000s and 2010s hip hop, I'm a huge hip hop fan, so I'm going to make this correlation somehow. You just got to bear with me. So, like, when music changed in the hip hop and rap area, it was, like, new. And a lot of the people that were into older hip hop were like, oh, I don't like the new stuff because it doesn't sound like the old stuff, and it doesn't have the same rhythm or lyrics and so on and so forth. But, like, hip hop needed the change, otherwise everything would sound the same. You know what I mean? So I don't think that EV cars are bad necessarily. I do think that we're not ready for them. You know what I mean? Like, me as a fan of all things motors and VR6s, you know what I mean? Like, the VR6 is one of my favorite motors by far. Um, while I think that I'd want to have a combustion motor for the rest of my life, like, if they made, like, a biofuel that made internal combustion engines work forever, that'd be amazing. You know what I mean? Because then, like a synthetic fuel, that'd be sick. Um, but I just don't think that the EV support is there for the US. For This is strictly for, like, the United States. Uh, and then there's, like, the politics and stuff like that, which I don't want to get involved with because I hate politics. I'm not a huge fan. S5 Sportback, the new one, right? Because the new one's got that funny looking rear end. I think. I think that's the one I saw at the grocery store, like, literally the other day. Hold on, let's pull up a picture of the. Is that the one with the funny looking rear end? Oh, the S5, not the Q5. You're talking about the S5 Sportback. Yeah, they took the S5 and made it a 4-door. It was a 2-door forever, and I think that the reason why is because I think that they're changing the nomenclature for Audi. I think this might be BMW. I might be getting this wrong. Where, like, the 4 is an EV, the 5, like, the odd even numbers are EVs, and the odd numbers are gas. I think that's what they were trying to go for. I don't remember why they changed the nomenclature for it. Yes, love the R8. Gen 1. Okay, so back to, you said what my favorite car was. If I was to have the most realistic daily driver, like, in my current, I guess, salary or whatever. So, and this is a hot take. If I was to have a daily driver, it would be a Gen 1 R8 gated 6-speed and a facelift version with the nice taillights. I think that would be one of my favorite dailies. That or like an S600, like an older S600, or even like a 2015 2018 S63 coupe. No, I own all VW and Audi. But I think that BMWs are phenomenal cars. The E46 is the E46 M3 is a fantastic car. I've owned one 528 wagon in 6-speed manual. It was green with the 2-piece, whatever, the RS looking wheels. And I mean, I had like the ABS module issue. So like, yeah, every early 2000s European car has like electronics issues and whatnot. But I think BMWs are good cars. I haven't stepped into that realm yet. I heard that is a different realm than what I'm at in VW. The S4, what year S4? Because we have one. we have that one, the one that's in the front of the garage. If you haven't checked out the channel, take a look, Brown Eyes, because I have we've got a build thread going on that. So new cars are, I'm indifferent. I don't know why. So it might be because I haven't had the opportunity to drive a lot of new cars. You know what I mean? The newest car that's in our inventory is the Cayenne Turbo, but like a certified pre-owned car? Wait, what? What? Are they changing things up now? You can lease a certified pre-owned car? What? Holy shit. Holy shit, you're right. That's crazy. I did not know that. Yeah, you can do that with Honda, apparently. Honda and Toyota. Would I do that with the 911? Look, 911's got ruined for me. Ross, my partner, my partner and good friend, he has a 911 GT3. I've never driven a 991, and I'm getting to. So in our future video, I'm doing a video skit on the District Imports 911 GT3. I think it'd be great to do. Oh crap, my battery's dying. I forgot to plug this thing in. I think it would be a great car to drive, but I've never really experienced it enough to know that I like it. So I think it's time that I drive one and say whether or not I do. Because I've never driven one. I don't know what to experience. I don't know what to. I just don't know what a 911 would feel like, and I feel like I don't know. He's got a 991.1 GT3. So I think that year is 08. 2011, 2008. Take it. So if I had to choose between the Taycan and the RSGT e-tron, I'd probably go RSGT e-tron. Only because I think it looks better. It's something about like, if you look at like the cabin, like there's the cabin in the car is like dead center, right? And then the wheels just come out like that. And that thing, it just looks freaking phenomenal. I don't know what it is about it, but the Audi did a really good job modifying. They're both the same car, I think. And then aside from like the interior and how they look and so on and so forth, but yeah, Macans are parts cars for GTIs. I'm kidding. I'm not Macans are cool. Like the Macan GTS looks great. But I'm not into, I don't know, SUVs and mini SUVs are still not in my. I'd have to drive one. Like I have to drive an SQ5 or something like that. Caymans are cool. Caymans are uh like like a Cayman GT would be a phenomenal car. But again, these are like calibers of cars that I have never experienced. I'm a 31-year-old Volkswagen dude that bags Mark V R32s and saves them. Saves a car like this needs to be saved. You know, old cars need to be saved. You know what I mean? Back when things were still analog-ish. But the Cayman's a great sport car. I think the Cayman would be an outstanding sport car. Um, the S7 Sportback. Do I like that? Yeah, I like the way that the S7 looks. I think the S7 would be one hell of a daily driver as well. Um, I probably would save for an RS7 and get the same motor that's in the RS6. You know what I mean? The same the RS7 has the same motor that's in like the Urus and all that, just slightly detuned. You know what I mean? Yeah, lots of questions, man. I like that. You just like me are a European car person, so I appreciate that. Would I ever buy the? Oh, shoot! If I had that kind of money, all right. Let me ask you this. I would not buy a Urus. Let me ask you this: if you had 200K, $200,000, and you had to buy one car, what would you buy? And you got to drive it every single day, to and from the work, maybe on the track. Ah, man, come on. The Urus, it's of all the cars. I'm not gonna hate it. I'm not gonna hate it. You got a taste. Yeah, yeah. No, I agree. It looks like it looks like a Lamborghini. Um, I my personal opinion is that they butchered, or no, they didn't butcher. They took the Cayenne in the SQ8 and then they just slapped the Lamborghini badge and was like, "There you go. This is a Lamborghini." Sorry, I messed up my finger. It was every Lamborghini is so special, and that one just doesn't look that. I don't know, just for some reason because I know the motor and the suspension is all the same. To me, it just doesn't feel as special. The Bentley SUV, the Bentayga, is nice, but those are all caliber cars that I could never afford. Yeah, yeah, just like the Porsche and the Cayenne and the Q8 are the same cars too. You know what I mean? But it's like, okay, so think of it this way. This is what I mean. Imagine me. I'm a guy who like I'm a say I open up a burger shop and I'm like cooking burgers or whatever, and they're like, cool, these are burgers. These are $5 burgers. They're amazing. They're like smash burgers with cheddar cheese and whatnot. And you're like, awesome. This is great. And then I open up like my burger shop does really well. And then all of a sudden I open up another one. It's like a fancier version of my current restaurant. And then I'm selling the same burger that you bought for $5 for $35. And the only difference was I like charred the top of the burger bun a little bit to make it look like it was like grilled different. You know what I mean? Or like, you know what I'm saying? It's the same burger. It's just now it's way more expensive. Um, I'm a huge fan of like deals and whatnot. Like this is a $9,000 car. You know what I mean? Um, so like to get an R32 for $9,000 is incredibly inexpensive for what the car is. Oh yeah, yeah. No, I mean, so the like SUVs are a market. The death of the sedan, like the sedan and like the sports cars, are now dying because everybody wants a SUV, especially in the US. Like the market for that is incredibly huge. Um, and so going into SUVs was a smart thing because they had the ability to keep the brand alive. So like the Porsche 944. It's an old car. It's an old sports car. The Porsche 944 was what saved Porsche, I believe, in the 1980s, and it was a bundle of Volkswagen parts that they just slapped together. So it's like you got to have something that keeps the brand alive. And then once the 944, put all the money back into Porsche's hands, then they were able to, create the 911's like a better 911, like a better air cooled version of 911. You have the 944 was the car that Porsche needed to sell in order to make the 911. You know what I mean? So it's like Lamborghini had to make an SUV to keep further building, like the event, or what is it? The Huracan and so on and so forth. So it's in that way, in my opinion, it's like, okay, the Urus was like a cash cow. It's like, all right, cool. We'll put a Lamborghini stamp on a SQ8 or Cayenne GTS, and then call it the Lamborghini. But it put money into Lamborghini's hands so that way they can continue to make other cars. You know what I'm saying? So it's a weird market when you get into that area. Yeah, exactly. I'm a fan of deals. Again, one 5,000 cars meticulously maintained for eight grand, I think, is what we paid for. And like this is like a $30,000 or $40,000 car at the time. And I got it for way less because of good deals. So like if I wanted to get that car for a good deal and save the money and not get hit with depreciation, not get hit with the dealer maintenance fees that you get, because again, even though the maintenance is the same, you're paying for the price tag. Like you're gonna pay Lamborghini labor rates, whereas like what's it called? If you had an SQ8 or an RSQ8 or whatever, you would get Audi labor rates. So it's a different conversation. I'm not even in that realm to consider a Urus, you know what I mean? But if I was to come up with that kind of money, that's the thought process that I would have, regardless of how much money I made. You know what I mean? Like, because I'm not maintaining a Lamborghini Urus. If I was to personally maintain one, it'd be terrible for resale value. Because if like the big agree. That's why we're friends, friend. I agree with you 100%. Look, hands down, Volkswagen Auto Group killed the auto market in multiple different ways, man. In multiple different ways. I'm not a fan. I just own 7 of them. You know what I mean? So it's a huge debate. Volkswagen Auto Group did a really good job, and then they picked up Ducati, which is wild. But yeah, no, I agree. They make really good cars. I am a huge fan of the Honda, like the EG and EK, like the old EGSI, the Type R, and the old EK Type R. Like those are my dream, like JDM front wheel drive hatchbacks if I wanted to have. And then maybe an S2K, but I don't fit in an S2000. So yeah, I know they own Bugatti too. They own Ducati, Porsche, Bentley, Lambo, Bugatti, Skoda, Seat, and there's another one that I'm missing. But yeah, they not only do they own those brands, but they sell like a lot of cars in Europe, like diesels and whatnot. They sell a ton of cars. So yeah, Volkswagen's got a huge grip onto the auto market. Yeah, S8s are great sedans. The early ones were so when I think of like luxury sedans, it's with the there he is. Here's the bloody wheel. Thank you very much. That's all of my blood is in there. Or do you want your Porsche steering wheel that we haven't sold yet? Yeah. So Ross, Brown Eyes and I have been having a really nice conversation so far. We actually picked up a. It's funny you say that. Somebody that has to be somebody I know. this person has to be somebody I know because these are targeted questions and it's interesting. We picked up a Fox Body Mustang. So, do I have pictures? One of my buddies had a Fox Body Mustang in his family for 20 plus years and asked me if I wanted to take it over. 1987, 88. I don't know how to share just yet, so this will have to do. But yeah, that's what we got. We picked up one of those. That thing. Yeah, I think so. It's gonna need a lot of work to get a Mustang to be like talking about old suspension, talking about like to get it to be a relative sports car is going to be incredibly difficult. And so that's the kind of R&D that already exists to make Mustangs relevant in the sports car community is tough. You got to change the way the suspension travels. So back then they were just muscle cars are just put 2 leaf springs on it, you know what I mean, and throw some big bulbous tires and let them go. So Rare Fish that's in here, he could tell you all about his 911 GT3. He loves it so much that he doesn't even drive it because the dealership has it, and they've commandeered that car. But yeah, so like the whole conversation, Ross, I don't know if you got up. I was talking about how one day when we get a shop, this would be shop talk, and so shop talk would be talking about stuff while we're modifying cars, while we're working on cars, things like that, and then having conversations like, what car would you have with set amount of money? So one of the questions that Brown Eyes and I had earlier was like, he asked me like, what kind of car would I daily drive, or what was my favorite car is one of the questions. So I gave him the scenario, and I'll give you guys a scenario. Say you had to drive a car for 5 years, maintenance is included. It's the only car that you could drive, right? And you got to take yourself to like work and so on and so forth. Basically, the only car that you can have in your stable, and your limit was $100,000. What car would you have? Depending in like the area that you live, your answers are going to be wildly different, right? And so, my answer, Gen 1 R8, manual. Why not? Facelifted Gen 1 R8 would be a phenomenal daily driver. The GT Coupe, it's comfortable. It's a 4.2, so it's not. I mean, shoot, at that point, if you can find one for under $100,000 in a V10, get a V10 gated. But if I had $100,000 and I drove a car for 5 years, it'd be a Gen 1 R8, like all day long, like a facelifted. It'd just be perfect. But I also live in the Northern Virginia area. But I don't. If I needed an SUV for anything, I just have somebody like I could have anybody bring me anything that I needed to, or not. S3s are great. I like S3s a lot because I have S3 seats in my GTI. So I love the S3. RS7s are great too. I think RS7s because they share the same motor, the 4-liter V8 twin turbo. Things are solid. Texas is a phenomenal place to live if you like drag racing or other motorsports activities. So I'm jealous. I want to do Texas mile one day when we get the HP kit. I've been to Dallas Fort Worth area. Almost got robbed right out of the airport. Literally almost got robbed. I was like, cool, I'm going back in the airport. Don't need to be here anymore. Oh shit. Sorry. I landed in DFW and I almost got robbed. I was like, yeah, I'm out of here. It was an interesting day, I'll tell you that. I go outside DFW and yeah, literally like went outside this is back when I used to smoke cigarettes. and I quit. So I went outside to go smoke a cigarette, and this guy was asking me a lot of questions, like, "Hey man, like, where are you from?" I'm like, "Oh, I don't know. I'm from the DC area. Like, I'm here on for work." And yeah, it was weird. And so he was like, "Oh, cool, man. Like, do you have any cash?" And I was like, "No, I don't have any cash." He's like, "Oh, cool, man. What's in your bag?" And I'm like, "Yo, what's in my bag is what's in my bag. Like, I don't. What do you mean?" And then like he got kind of like, this, and then his buddy came behind him, and he was just like whispered something to his ear, and then they like both dipped. And I was like, "Okay." Threw my cigarette out and went right back into the airport. So never, not want to do that again. Yeah, I live Northern Virginia, so we're next to DC and Maryland. We're close. We're all close to that. Dude, I gotta pee. All right, give me your questions. I'm gonna go pee and I'll be right back. Oy. I gotta put the mic down too, because that'd be weird if I took you into the bathroom. I love you. Oh, it's hard to wash your hands. Do I live close to Potomac? Yeah, Potomac's not bad. What up, Car Buffet? Buffett? Car Buffett? Car Buffet? Welcome to Shop Talk. This is the first iteration of Shop Talk. Yo, TJ. All right, look. Y'all need to know this one thing. All right, Crack Lens Media. Go to his Instagram right now, Crack Lens Media, and go check out his channel. The dude's photography is outstanding. Like, he is really, really he's a very good car photographer, and we picked him up as one of our media guys for District Imports, which was we were very honored to have him say, "Yes, I will come shoot for you." So we're really excited about that. And I just got all the text messages. TJ, sorry about that. You guys gotta come in here to do that. Yeah, Potomac, Maryland does have a lot of the Great Falls area. Northern Virginia and Potomac, Maryland have a lot of those luxury cars. I've seen plenty of SQ8s. It's like daily traffic. But enough about new cars. Let's talk old cars. TJ, give me your favorite old car right now. I've seen two RSQ8s. I want to know what a daily driver you would pick from the 90s. Hold up, Dan. Yes. We're putting a 4.0 twin turbo into the F250. Actually, if you get the motor, we'll do it right here. I'm gonna do it right here. We'll do it right in the garage. If I break my finger again because of something in your car, you have to pay for my finger. No, I do not live in a high-end area. I mean, I'm grateful for where I live, but no. 1998 Jeep. Dude, okay. I said any car. You didn't have to pick the motor. Wait, actually, the 98 had the inline six, right? Had the inline. Was it the inline six that was the best Jeep motor that they would have ever came out with? And then the year after that, they fucked it all up, and they were like, "No, we're gonna do some crazy V6." Yep, inline 4.0. That's the one. That's the one that should have stayed with Jeep forever. And then they were like, "Nah, we're gonna do the 6-cylinder V or whatever that just I don't know what the point with that was when they had something that already worked. Dude, isn't that sick? Like, I'm telling you, when we start working on cars and I can sit here and have conversations at the same time, it's going to be legit. Like tomorrow is going to be cool because tomorrow we're going to have we're finishing up the Mark V. The problem is my finger's dead, so like I've got to do the front brake. So actually, let's test this out, dude, because this would be kind of sick. Oh, what? Are you detailing a whole 911 Targa? Dude, this thing is crazy, bro. I'm kind of jealous. I dropped the brake rotor on my finger, and it split my finger. Ooh, 560 SEC. Money. That's what I'm talking about. Only because I'm a huge fan of GT cars. Yeah. This is the work we got cut out for us tomorrow. Freaking brake rotor. Dude, the brake, we looked at to see how much the brake rotors weighed. 25 pounds. So I dropped a 25-pound brake rotor on my finger and still didn't break. It didn't break anything. It just bruised the tip. I got lucky, dude. I got real lucky. So pretty pumped about that. I could set this camera like freaking anywhere. This cable's long as hell. It's actually a decent setup. Yeah, TJ, you about to get the tip later on, brother. Am I a Mercedes person? Yes. Do I want to own one? Yes. Will I own one in my near future? Probably not. I think we have like 6 project cars right now. No. We have 6 cars total. 3 of them are project cars. Yes, TJ. As you can tell, I am of khaki color. I do want a Benz. I don't think that I can afford to own one, so I'm not going to make the mistake and go car poor. I'd rather maintain Volkswagen shit boxes for that matter. Actually, this is a really good car. I'd rather own cars that I know how to maintain and can afford to maintain them. So, yeah. All right, Dan. Give me a yeah, TJ. I know you definitely know what it is. Dan, give me a scenario because I have multiple different dream cars for multiple different scenarios. Like we're talking daily, talking race car, talking show car. Give me a scenario. That's the best way I can think about it. Yeah, 911. It's tough for me to answer the 911 question because I got 911s ruined for me, and I won't go into the story why. I do have to drive Ross's or Rare Fish's GT3, and I think my mind will change. But yeah, Dan, you gotta give me a solid scenario of a car. Oh, I got told so I just got told DI got invited to SEMA and I have to bring a car. I pick. Is it a car that I already have or just I have to think of something crazy to bring to SEMA? Because if that's the case, a car that I get to bring to SEMA. And it'd be like my dealing. Blank check my build. Okay. All right. So hear me out. Oh, shit. This is tough. I would probably build. Damn. All right. It has to be a GT car, no matter what. So it has to be something that I like in a GT car, or it has to be the era of a GT car that I like. So, you know what? I'm thinking about this. We're gonna bounce off of what TJ said with the 560 SEC because that would be sick. So imagine the, you know how Gunther Works does, or not Gun, is it Gunther Works? One of those dudes do the modernized version of a 928. 928? What is it? What is it? They're air cooled. I get them all confused. So imagine a modernized version of a 560 SEC, and this is what I mean by this. I mean, we're talking not the M170 some whatever, but the V8 twin turbo that's in all the AMGs, a 6.3, right? But in a 560 SEC, built like it was like the interior's completely modified or reupholstered to look new-ish, but still retro to kind of the same standards of like Gunther Works. I don't know how I would execute it though, because the way that I think it's, I keep saying Gunther Works and I keep forgetting the company, or what was it? The 911 with fuck, I'm forgetting it already. You know who would know? This is why I love her so much. Watch this. Watch this. Hey, babe. Yeah. Hey, what's the company that makes the old air-cooled 911s modernized and look cool as shit? Singer. See? I told you she would do it. That's why I'm in love with that woman. So like a Singer, right? Like a Singer 911, but do that to like a 560 SEC, or like a like a older, I don't know, like an 80s, even like an 500 SL or something of that nature. But interior is all refreshed with new stuff, and like it's got to, it'd be something like that. It'd be definitely 110 million% on air. Like it has to be on air, right? Because everything I own is being converted to air. And it would have to be like some crazy version of a, I don't know. Yeah, air ride. Another car that I would probably bring to SEMA, because nobody's done it before. Aw, thanks, homie. You know what I'm saying? Out here staying fresh out here, Slim. You know what I'm saying? Staying fresh out here. Another car that would probably, this is going to piss off a lot of people because I love doing that. So imagine this. If you haven't, go on your Google and open up a new tab and look up Fat Fabs, PHAT, Fabs, PHABZ. I love these guys. Okay, Fat Fabs makes amazing frames. Okay, now bear with me, right? So Fat Fabs, style, you know, chopped bodied, you know, or chopped, or what's it called? Completely new frame builds and shit like that. But on like a GL63 AMG or an Atlas, like don't, okay. Because nobody's done it before, because you can't, like, they're not body on frame like most of the cars that Fat Fab works on. But imagine like a full body dropped Mercedes SUV, and that has like pays homage to like the older car truck scene. You know what I'm saying? I'll show you what I'm talking about, because it'd be legit, like something like that with like the new Escalade. It'd be phenomenal. That'd be a car I'd bring to SEMA, because people would be like, dude, holy shit, this dude did a chopped or a frame notch, you know, body dropped newer Benz SUV. That'd be sick. Damn, that's a really good question though. What would, if I got invited to SEMA and I had a blank check? It'd have to be a GT car. Like, it always have to be a GT car. You know what I mean? Ooh, dude, 92 G-Wagon Overland, but the coupe, the two-door version, that would be slick. Like a two-door version of the G-Wagon Overland build. That'd be sick. And then we could go you could do anything on that thing. Put a roof rack and tent and all that kind of stuff. I think that would be legit. Yeah, with the soft top. That's a German special, isn't it? That's only in Germany. It was a European domestic market. I don't think that exists in the US, which would be tight. Dude, TJ, you missed it, bro. There was a yeah, it's a definitely European. There was 100%. There was a it's like $5,000 or $4,000. There was a G500 whatever coupe for 5 Gs, and like, bro, it would have been such a perfect car. But like, what am I gonna do with a two-door SUV? I can't trade the Flexin for a two-door SUV. That'd be pointless. Yeah, same. That'd be an outstanding car. Now you know what it is, TJ. Now you got to get in here and you get yourself a Mark IV or Mark V. I want to have those conversations about like future car stuff with like the change in like VW, and if it was good or bad, or what would have happened if the new designer kept going off of old Mark IV design, because the Mark IV was such a huge change. I can't wait to get the Mark IV 32 back to like bring the comparison between the two and drive them both, because I think it will. I think that like I still stand hold on like the sentiment that the Mark V is a better version of the Mark IV, in the sense that it's a it's a matured version of the car. Like I'd love to have conversations with like why the Mark V or the Mark VI didn't get the 3.6 VR. 94 Co on YouTube. Shout out to Chovy, he's awesome. He just uploaded a video today. He made the car that Volkswagen didn't want to do, because the Mark V is the same chassis as the Mark VI. So much so that a 3.6 literally bolts up. And so his video, if you haven't seen it, was talking about how Volkswagen didn't make the car that people wanted. The Mark 6R would have been a phenomenal vehicle, in my opinion. It would have been perfect. It wouldn't be as fast, but who cares? Like, that wasn't the point. You know what I mean? I think that that car would have made so much more enthusiasts. It's the man in the hour, Jeff Hayes, aka Keith. Hey, we're doing this from now on, man. I think I'm gonna start doing shop talks on Fridays and Saturdays. Hey, my man's doing the cat emoji for no reason. Hell yeah. Yeah, dude. You need to. So, like, when, knock on wood, right? When we start getting rolling with like media and whatnot, dude, shop talks are going to be huge. We're going to do live stuff, and on top of that, podcast style stuff. And I need to get like the people that I interviewed to come in to have these conversations about their cars, like in person with like an audience, because we're just passionate about old cars. Yeah, dude, it's happening, man. I'm really like, we've gotten a good amount of support, and I hope that the future has like more shop talks with more of the homies, and we talk about the future of car just car culture in general. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, love the Porsche 944. That's the Porsche that saved the port. That's the Porsche 944 is the car that saved Porsche to make the 911 96 something 96. Ross, help me out here. Would I ever get a 944? Maybe. Like, I don't know what its use would be. Maybe as a track car. A Porsche 944 would be a solid autocross or track car. In fact, like you take you take the 944 and you put a VR in that, and you've got a great car. You just take, so the formula is very simple, ladies and gentlemen. You take X, meaning the car, and you put a VR in it, and you get the greatest car ever. I mean, the answer is always going to be VR. So, but yes, I would 100%. I would get a 944, and I'd probably make it as like a dedicated track car. Had I had the time, money, research, I'd make it as such. And I think that NGP Racing had a 944 for a little bit, or a 944 track car. Thing was sick, and like I'd love to hear one screaming down, the long straight at Summit Point. That would be sick. But yeah, no, the answer is always yes. As TJ said, we are definitely. I'd get a 944 and I'd go full blown track car, but I like it because it saved Porsche. But yeah, but if you put a VR in it, it'd just be so much better. You know what I mean? Yeah, the chains are in the back. You gotta take the fucking motor out just to do chains again. But like all those other sport cars, they do engine out services all the time. Why not do it for a VR? It's definitely not as cool, but like still doing it. But yeah, I need another scenario. Say like VR in a Miata. I don't even think that would fit. I don't think that would fit at all. There's like no. I've had one NA Miata, and I had barely enough room. I think you can put a V8 in it, obviously, because it's 4-cylinder times 2, but going this way. But like, I don't think you could put a straight 6. Actually, some dude put a 2. There's got to be a guy with a 2J NA Miata somewhere. 2JZ Miata. Holy shit. You can get it to fit. I mean, with the right amount of money, time, and patience, I guess, you could put a 2J in anything. Should you put a 2J in anything? Would you... Look, if you had to pick between 2J and a VR, I mean, everybody's always going to go with the 2J, right? With adult glue. Is adult glue welding? Is welding Photoshop, but with welding? Welding is Photoshop for adults. I love, like, can you explain to everybody what adult glue even is? TJ goes, with adult glue, anything is possible. I love that. I'm curious, because like, would it be like, if you think about it, my personal opinion, yeah, welding is glue for adults. Yeah, no, I agree. My personal opinion, if it couldn't be stopped with zip ties and duct tape, it's meant to move. Plain and simple. It couldn't be any more obvious than that. If you have something that you're in repair of, and a zip tie and also duct tape, or a combination of both, was not able to fix or to stop it from moving, that thing was meant to move. There's no workaround around that. And like, that's kind of where I got the I remember like 2011 when they started making die cut vinyls at car shows and whatnot. I got the zip tie mechanic sticker for my Mark IV Golf. Then I did the Jetta front end swap on a my Mark IV Golf, and like the whole front end was zip tied, glued together, like the fender lights, like the lights that go like right here. You know what I'm talking about? Just duct tape right in the back. And the front bumper was 100% zip tied. Dude, those are good days. Those you can't like nowadays. I can't do that because my cars are representation of DI. But you'll see them every now and then. You'll see tiniest little zip tie with the perfect cut on the tab, because you can't do that. So, but yeah, so those who joined in today, because I've got to cut it. I got to go to dinner with the fam. But I had a great. So I'm going to cut this out because it's our end of the live stream today. It's about an hour and 5 minutes in. Had a great conversation today. Brown Eyes, shout out to you. Huge shout out because we had a great conversation. Shout out to like Keith, Keith, Jeff, Dan, TJ, and Ross for jumping in the channel. So for the next shop talks, I'll probably have more of like conversations that are more particular towards a subject. But shop talks will probably be more like I want to go into the conversations about things that are kind of controversial or controversial, right? So conversations like the direction of car culture, and what we can do as car enthusiasts to kind of help and benefit the car community. Like I mentioned before, Shop Talk will eventually evolve into something that's going to be conversations with new car owners or people that want to modify their cars and go over things like suspension components and maintenance intervals and what to look for and so on and so forth. So a lot of those things we're going to start focusing heavy on with Shop Talk, just so that way we can keep minds refreshed and people looking out for things that they want to look out for or what they should look out for when modifying their cars, so that way they do it safely and you're not dropping $2,000 on or $3,000 now on suspension and tires when your bushings should have probably been replaced, or how to like stage your car with mods in eras and plan how you would mod your car with like either a budget or situation, or even so people talk about this all the time. Winter's the best time for building cars. I disagree. Winter's the worst time for building cars, because if you don't have a heated garage, it's next to impossible. I don't know if you've ever worked in a garage with 30-degree weather. It's like you can't feel your hands even with like the hardest gloves or the warmest gloves. So I think that the future of Shop Talk is going to continue to become conversations that are more real, I guess you would know what I'm saying. Although I did enjoy the conversations of cars today that I had with one of our members here about cars that I wouldn't be able to afford, and how I'd still be fairly realistic about it. You know what I mean? Like, no, I wouldn't buy a Lamborghini Urus. I'd rather have an RSG or RSQ8, and because it'd be the same car, but the maintenance would be cheaper for the RSQ8, because that's what I mean. Like, it's the same car. This one's got a badge. But yeah, so I definitely. I appreciated the conversations a lot today, and I definitely want to focus on more of those things the next time. And I think that we're going to do these Friday nights or Saturday mornings. I'm not, or Fridays or Saturdays. I'm not really sure when would be a good time to do this. But I want to have those conversations. Like, one of the things that like bothered me, and this is my last tangent before I leave. So one of the things that bothered me the most is like the direction of car culture and where it's going to now. We've known that stuff has been changing since, like, if you're from the East Coast, that H2O was going downhill. You know what I mean? I think that was a known fact. We saw the change in culture at H2O. We saw the change in how car enthusiasts were at H2O. During that era of the late 2010s for car culture. I think that everybody understood and acknowledged that was the case. And one of the conversations I want to have in the next Shop Talk is like what we can do to change that, right? Because while acknowledging it is the first step, the second step is to find the way to make a difference. You've got all of these new kids that are coming out now with technology being a huge thing. Everybody's got a phone in their hand. They're looking at all their dream cars and so on and so forth, and they see all these cars. But like, how do we make car culture go back to being realistic and being about cars again, not so much about the fame or what the car is doing for the person in either a monetary, not monetary value, but like it's different. Like when I was started off in working on cars and stuff like this, like working in the garage and whatnot, we we built cars with our friends. One, because we were poor, so working on cars yourself makes it way cheaper. But there was like a communal effect to that. You know what I mean? It's like I'm building cars with my friends because it's fun. I, as much as I know that it's supporting of other shops to have them build your car for you, especially if you don't have the experience and you're unsafe, or you think that it's unsafe for you to do it. I think it's important that people still understand those things about cars, right? Or they still understand what they're doing or why the modification is in that direction or why this chassis is in a way that it's supposed to be. um, so like when District Imports finally gets its shop again, uh, the goal would be to have the shop days, and shop talk will be about that, where I bring uh, somebody out that has their first car and wants to install. I'll give you an example, like coilovers, and they got buddies from high school, buddies from college or whatever, and they're like, "Sick, man! I want to go install coilovers. I don't have a shop. I don't have the tools. Whatever. I'll pick a specific person, completely, absolutely free of charge in this area, and I will go through the installation of the coilovers on their car, and then give them the pros and cons of what they're doing when they're modifying their car, when they put coilovers on, or talk about like why it was important to do these coilovers, and then also, hey, look, by the way, here's a clear sign of a control arm bushing that's failing because of like the cracks, or look at like tie rods and stuff like that, because that's the important part is the safety aspect of that too. When you're trying to put coilovers on a car, your suspension travel is going to be shorter than what it is from stock, and you want to make sure that when it's shorter than that, things are a little bit stiffer, and so what happens is like things wear faster. So if you already have worn bushings, so I think it'd be really important to do that in the future of Shop Talk, with doing these live streams. But I think that also like the car culture could benefit from having people, like if you look at ShopDAP, Humble Mechanic. I mean, there's so many YouTubers out there that are like pushing heavy for hey, these are the things to look for in your car. This informational car conversations, so important. And I've seen them come to car shows and have these conversations with people, inspiring them to be lenient on like, hey, wrenching on your cars and knowing about your car is extremely important. So that is my rant for you guys, and I think that the future of DI will continue to do that, just so that way the efforts are pushed in that direction, because it's positive in nature, right? We need the positivity these days. People are just slapping on car parts and like doing things for TikTok and Instagram likes, and that sucks because takes the taste away. You know what I mean? Like nobody, like, you know what I'm saying? It just there's always going to be people that kind of like um put like a different feel towards your towards your hobby, you know what I'm saying, where some people are either going to take advantage of a particular hobby for personal gain, um and like I'm not saying that the majority of car community is like that, but it's more obvious, right? People are doing things to cars to get personal gain. And as uh as great as that is, looking at people's build, what I mean, and whatever that they've got done, I think it's also more important to teach the younger generation that doing this is like, we do this because it's fun. because you make great friends. Like my current career is because of car people. My current relationship is she's a car person. She's smarter about cars. You guys, I don't know if you guys weren't here earlier, but I had a question about a SEMA build, and I was trying to find the name of the Porsche or the company, the aftermarket company that builds Porsches that are more modernized. And I was talking to my partner, and she goes Singer, and I didn't even know she's incredibly intelligent. But I owe a lot of the car community and cars in general, my life, because I have my job, my relationship status, my future dreams, and so on and so forth. I mean, the fact that I was project manager is because I worked on cars and I understood how they worked, and mechanics and stuff like that, and physics and so forth for cars, and that kind of like drew my attention, further. Like, hey, I get to learn all this information about cars and stuff like that, and when I have friends that hit me up to go work on their stuff, they're like, hey bro, can you help me put some coilovers on? I'm like, dude, hell yeah. Get there and I'm like, you see that thing right there? That's a brake rotor. And you should put your finger on the outside right there. And if you can go inside, that's not good. That's not good. So, and unfortunately, I like give them the bad news, like, bro, you need to change those brake rotors like ASAP, because you're gonna get that metal in one day, or that rotor is gonna crack. But whatever. So, yeah. So like, shop talk for future case. Now, I do want to have more scenarios where people are like, hey, what would you do with this amount of money? Say, like if we had a lemons car race conversation, that would be awesome. I would do a lemons car race conversation about what car I would pick for a lemons car. 110% Toyota car, because you can't kill something in lemons if it can't be broken. Or like my budget, say like a budget overlanding vehicle, or say like you know like my budget daily, or my budget daily is multiple projects all at the same time. So like the shop talks, I will start driving some of these conversations, and of course I'd like for you guys to chime in and say, what would you do with such and such. But yeah, so that's like what this is really going to be all about. I'm excited that we had some cool questions today. I'm not a huge new car guy, because I I think the quality of cars changed. You know what I mean? After, I want to say like 2018, it's kind of like, I don't know if you guys are gamers, but uh, the quality of games changed a lot after COVID, and so it's kind of relative. Um, so it's like I'm really iffy with like newer vehicles. However, I do think there is a good future for cars. Don't know what Toyota was doing with the new twin turbo V6, putting it in a Land Cruiser. That was weird. It was too much car for that. You know what I mean? The thing is like always in boost. It's like struggling. But it looks so good. They just kept it in 2UZ at our V8. But yeah, that's kind of a long rant. But for closure, for the guys that just joined, we'll probably end up doing this on Fridays and Saturdays. I want to hear what you guys have to say about topics of car community, car culture, modifying cars, questions about things like general maintenance, or what you would do in a scenario if you had such and such money. Say, I don't know, like I'm a college kid. I need to know what's a good choice of a car to buy, and is it modifiable? Because look, I didn't go to college, but I was a broke kid, trying to get to stay not relevant, but like I had the itch. I got to tinker with my car. You know what I mean? So how can I do that, have fun, and modify cars at the same time? So I'd like to have like scenarios like that too. But yeah, so I feel like shop talk is going to be fun. Probably do them Fridays or Saturdays, and go from there. Till then, I'm gonna treat this like a work call. Do I have any go backs for the room? Any questions? Okay, well, that concludes district imports. That really did sound like a Teams call. Damn, that actually kind of hurt me right in the feels because I'm not at work. But yeah, so it concludes Shop Talk episode 1. And next time we'll probably schedule this for, let's do Friday nights. I think it's good. But let me know if we should do this while we're wrenching. You guys want to see what it's like to work in a garage with a bunch of dudes, or like we could just keep it to questions and chit chatting, because I think communication is my favorite thing, and I also like to talk. So let me know what you guys think, and yeah, thanks for everybody who chimed in. I appreciate it a lot, and for the questions, I loved all the questions. It was a lot of fun. But all right, I'll see you guys on the next one.